Welcome to NBA action. Hey, feeling a little feisty? Come on, play nice, or you won't be allowed to see plays like this. Oh, that's right. So don't rob yourself of a good time. Just sit back and smile.
Often. And it fell.
What time is it?
Kids got it right up into the eye. Power slam! Whose game is it? It's Michael Jordan's game. The mailman delivers. Less than a second. Here's Dominic. Three-pointer. Yes! All right. Oh, did you see that?
Yes!
Oh, how high can you get up?
We begin this week's action reel with a look at the red-hot Phoenix Suns, who are riding an 11-game winning streak. The Suns captured their first Pacific Division title since 1981, starting Tuesday with some last-second heroics from Dan Marley.
Comes to Marley, a long three. He got it! He got it! He got it!
You know, it felt good. You know, I got a good pick from Charles, and it looked good all the way. I just had to wait for it to come down, and lucky enough it went in.
In Sacramento, the Suns dethroned the Kings behind some stingy defense and a game-high 28 from Cedric Ceballos.
Man, I'll tell you, that defense is getting tough down there in the paint for Phoenix. Here's Ceballos. Talk about man, is he an athlete?
Back home on Friday, Phoenix foiled Denver's defense, and Barkley recorded his 6th triple-double. But it was Danny Ainge who stole the show.
Ainge steps in, lets it fly. Oh, my.
This wasn't anywhere close to Dan's shot, but, you know, we were lucky to win the game.
Sunday, the Suns stifled the Jazz, and Phoenix clinched home court advantage throughout the Western Conference playoffs.
Barkley knocks it away for the steal. Give it to KJ. Give it to Charles. He puts the icing on the cake. Suns win number 59.
Meanwhile, the Houston Rockets continue to have plenty to smile about. Gunning for their first ever Midwest Division title, the Rockets down the Clippers behind Vernon Maxwell and the Dream.
Pass to a point. He just spins inside for 25. There just simply is no answer for Olajuwon tonight.
Against the Jazz, the Rockets came out flying, leading by as many as 23 points.
Steal, Carl Herrera with a breakaway. Ooh, for the two.
But the Jazz cut it to 1 before Mad Max saved the day.
There it is. Yes! What a big basket by Vernon Maxwell. Oh, boy.
And what was supposed to be a matchup of marquee centers turned into a layup drill for Akeem as the Rockets downed the Spurs for their 5th straight victory.
Akeem lays it up for 2 more. Olajuwon with 45 points, a new season high.
What an amazing player. I mean, he's the MVP in my book, and no one can compare to him.
Don't look now, but the Detroit Pistons are back in the postseason hunt, battling Indiana for the 8th and final playoff spot in the East. After shooting down the Bullets with 38 points, Joe Dumars ripped the Nets for 33, and the Pistons escaped with a close win at the Meadowlands.
Morris has to shoot it. The floater!
You know, we need every game we can get, and that's a big win for us, no question about it. They're all big.
The Pistons continued their road trip in Boston as Isaiah Thomas hit for a season-high 43 points in a win over the Celtics.
Oh, Isaiah.
You know, anytime you walk in here and play, you know, it's special.
And finally, Alvin Robertson scored a season-high 26 as the Pistons beat the Bullets for their 6th straight win.
We're hungry. We want to get back in there. We think that and feel right now that we're playing good basketball and we have momentum going into the playoffs and we can do some damage.
Another team smoking is the Cleveland Cavaliers. And in this week's marquee matchup, they face the injury-plagued New Jersey Nets. The Cavs entered the game riding a 3-game winning streak, and the outcome of this contest would be pivotal in the race for home court advantage in the playoffs. And from the outset, intensity was the name of the game.
Missing a shot. Watch out.
Let me tell you, Reveal wants, but Price, great anticipation. He found Doherty, who feeds it to Wilkin, and the Cavs have cut it to 1. 3 against 3. Robinson challenges Elo, counted it 1.
The game was a one-point affair for much of the first half, as each team's superstars took center stage. In addition, New Jersey received a spark from Bernard King, who tallied 12 points in the quarter and moved to a 51-50 net lead at the break. As the second half began, New Jersey came out dragging their feet a bit and quickly fell behind by 5 points.
Price, Sanders, 2 points.
Brad Daugherty. Oh, nice spin by Brad inside, laid it up on the river.
However, the Nets were able to regroup, and from the middle of the third quarter, neither team held more than a 4-point advantage the rest of the way.
That crossover.
Challenges and puts it home. Beauty. Wow. Price, good backdoor feed to Williams.
As the game entered the final stanza, the lead had swung to Cleveland 74-73. But that advantage would be short-lived, as throughout the period, the lead would change hands an incredible 10 times, and it looked as if the team which had the ball last would prevail.
Count it and 1! Here's Elo. Ferry for 3. Here's Addison, puts it home.
And with the Nets up 99-98, the Cavs had one last chance.
Ferry got the shot off. He scores! Cavaliers finally with a basket at the buzzer.
Coming up next on NBA Action, the Clippers' Action Jackson holds court.
I want a fan to say, hey, there's something special about that guy. He really loves what he's doing.
And we'll show you Brian Shaw's record-setting performance in On Fire.
10th made three-pointer.
Welcome back to NBA Action. Now on NBA Action, one of the game's ultimate showmen holds court. When you love the game as much as Mark Jackson does, it shows in every move that you make.
Look at that pass by Mark Jackson.
I don't just want it to be just a regular game. I want a fan to say, hey, there's something special about that guy. He really loves what he's doing.
As a collegiate, Jackson dealt strictly in home entertainment as the Queens, New York native starred for St. John's University.
It was incredible for me to, first of all, go to St. John's University in front of my family and friends and perform there for 4 years. But then to become a member of the New York Knicks was just a dream come true.
As the point guard for the Knicks, Mark was living a fantasy as he captured Rookie of the Year honors while gaining a reputation as a player who had a flair for the spectacular as well as for the dramatic.
Want to win it at the buzzer. Here's Jackson for the hoop. Yes!
But after his All-Star second season, Jackson became a marked man in New York.
The situation got tough for 2 years. I had coaches that didn't believe in me, that didn't give me the opportunity.
So Jackson sat and pondered the future.
I wouldn't trade that time of my life in for anything in the world because it made me a better basketball player, it made me a better person, and more importantly, down the road, it prepared me for life.
All fired up over a new start, Mark regained his confidence under new head coach Pat Riley. Never looking back, Jackson was right back in the spotlight as he once again became the man in New York. And despite his stellar play last year,
Jackson gets it off and hits!
The Knicks made the tough decision to trade him away.
If I left New York on a sour note, I would be upset. But leaving New York on a high note was probably the best thing. And I looked at it as my job in New York City was done.
It was off to L.A., where the heady floor general would become the captain of the Clippers ship.
Gary Grant with 2 seconds left in the quarter. Mark Jackson, knowing that, puts it into the buzzer. Jackson gets it done for the Clippers again.
He's probably been our most valuable player, and Mark's probably played as well as just about any point guard in the league.
Also, Jackson's flashy style and the Hollywood atmosphere seemed to be a perfect match.
What a play by Jackson!
The fans in L.A. have been tremendous to me. I enjoy it a great deal, and I'm just having the time of my life.
Now, in our magic moments, we go back to one of Jackson's earlier day heroics in the Big Apple. In the first round of the 1989 playoffs, Jackson was called upon to deliver in a clutch situation against the Philadelphia 76ers.
I recall it was Gerald Wilkins got the ball, and
what happened was my man left me for a split second. And I looked up at the clock and saw that it was getting less and less time. Gerald then made a great pass to me, a very unselfish pass. I just remember putting it up, and as soon as I let it go, almost, knew that it was going to go in. I don't know why and for what reason, but the time was right and it just felt good. And unfortunately, it went in, and it is one of my most memorable moments.
Out of three, Jackson from three, yes! Jackson with a three-point bomb at the 24-second buzzer.
Although New York would sweep the Sixers, they were knocked out in the second round of the playoffs. But one year, there was a squad which was virtually invincible during the postseason. Can you name this team which lost the fewest number of playoff games on their way to an NBA championship? The answer when we return, right here on And now the answer to this week's trivia question. The team that lost the fewest games in the playoffs en route to an NBA championship is the 1983 Philadelphia 76ers. During their title run, Philly lost only one game as they easily captured the NBA crown. While the 83 Sixers were healthy during the postseason, we find out in our news notes and quotes that teams aren't at full strength. Although the Nets, for one, have been hurt by injuries to Kenny Anderson, Chris Dudley, and Drazen Petrovic, they're still trying to get refueled.
We need to get Petro back. If we can get him back next week and have him ready to play, I think we still have a legitimate shot of being able to have home court advantage, and that's all you ask for.
The injury bug also hit the Blazers, who will be without the services of Clyde Drexler for the remainder of the regular season. Clyde strained a tendon in his left hamstring against the Bullets. The Bullets also got some bad news, as their starting point guard Michael Adams is out for the rest of the year after fracturing a bone in his left hand in a game against the Pistons. Instead of breaking bones, Indiana's Reggie Miller was busy breaking records as he became the Pacers' all-time leading scorer.
I'd definitely like to thank my mother and father and my wife and definitely my teammates for getting me the ball through the years, and it's something I'm going to cherish.
Burning up the record books and on fire this week was Miami's Brian Shaw.
For me, to set a record, a guy that they said can't shoot the ball, but this will go down as one night that I could.
And boy, could he ever.
A three in the air. And off the glass and in. What a night for Brian Shaw.
Shaw was so hot that he shot his way into history.
Here's Shaw for three. Go! Brian Shaw. The 10th made three-pointer for Brian Shaw. He's got 30 points.
Next coming at you is Latrell. Watch my scoring spree well. Latrell was smoking as he hit for a career-high 36 points in a victory against the Lakers. Sprewell single-handedly sent the game into overtime. And you just knew that this guy was feeling it.
Now, here we go. In it goes to Sprewell. Spree for three. Good! Oh, brother. It's the Latrell Sprewell show.
Oh, yeah? Well, Michael Williams had the Wolves howling in Minnesota.
Richardson and Williams.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Williams lit it up from everywhere. And even managed to dish out a few tasty assists en route to a career-high 30 points, including 16 for 16 from the line, extending his streak to 50 made free throws in a row. Now, we'll strive for perfection in this week's Encore. We start off with some miraculous shots at the buzzer. First, it's Anthony Bowie.
Good effort that time by Tolbert outside Bowie. And it counts if it goes, and it did.
Let's it go. To be good if it goes. Yes! For three!
Ooh, and just try to top this flame.
1-0 on the shot. Oh! James Worthy hits a three at the buzzer.
And AC Green tries to show up his teammate.
1 second. It'll count if it goes. It went.
Oh, yeah. And now, we'll send it home with some great alley-oops. First, we'll heat it up.
Alley-oop. Brian Shaw to Glenn Rice.
Uh-oh. Look out for the Shaq attack. Oh! And the Suns reach for the sky.
The ball taken to Marley. Live underneath Sabalas.
Well, that was nice. But now, watch our bloopers as Thunder Dan steps on a banana peeler. Whoops. But sometimes things just work out. Mark Price meant to do this, right?
Nice assist by Mark Price. The old ricochet pass.
And this is just beautiful.
Toss to Bowie. He messed it up.
And now for a look into our Christie ball as Doug Christie makes the nifty pass. Then the Laker rookie shows us the no-look.
What a putback by Doug Christie. Very alert.
And finally, the pretty scooping buzzer beater.
He throws it in at the buzzer. What a scoop shot.
Welcome back to NBA action. This week, in our Inside Look, we pose the question, who is the best big man in the league? They are the center of attention in the NBA, blessed with size, speed, strength, and agility.
Check this out.
Their territory is around and above the basket, and the center's game is one of intimidation and domination.
You know, this is originally started as a big man's game. So I'm happy now that the big man is getting more attention. There's a lot of great matchups, more competitive. This is the way it's supposed to be.
While Olajuwon is the dean of the top centers, the Knicks' Patrick Ewing is known for a deft shooting touch and a strong, consistent effort every night.
Pat's real tenacious. He works extremely hard. He's probably one of the hardest working guys I've ever played against. And he has a great care, great desire to win, and has a good knowledge of the game. And he just works extremely hard on both ends of the floor. It's fun to play against a guy like that because you know what you're going to get every night you play.
Patrick Ewing has elevated his game across the board over his career. Akeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Brad Daugherty. You go on right down the list.
Cat quick at 7'1". David Robinson loves the challenge of facing the great centers of the game.
When those guys come out and play against me, they just bring it out of me. I may start off the game slow or something, but as I go on and I see them make a couple shots and get pumped up, something inside of me says, whoa, wait a second, this isn't going to happen this way.
Cleveland's Brad Daugherty may not be flashy, but he's often considered the best passing center in the league.
I just try to play really smart. I know I'm not going to probably outrun David Robinson. I'm not going to outmuscle Shaquille. But I think if I play really smart and limit my mistakes, minimize my mistakes, that I can play with them. And that's usually good most of the time because it's tough to outplay him.
He's open.
Whoa! Fresh off the All-Star game is Shaquille O'Neal, and time will only tell how good he'll be. But his formula for success isn't too far off.
I think Akeem is power and finesse. David is a little bit of finesse, a little bit of power. Patrick is all power. When I was young, I would emulate my game after those three guys, plus add a little of my own razzmatazz to become me, Shaq.
After careful scrutiny, it's still unclear as to who deserves the label of best center in the game. However, in the earliest era of the NBA, there was no doubt who the best big man was. And in this week's Legends, we take a look at George Mikan, the Minneapolis Lakers' dominating center.
They always say that I was very powerful underneath the basket. I was a pussycat. I would make almost 50% of my scores on rebounding, offensive rebounding.
As a two-time All-American at DePaul and a five-time All-NBA first-team selection, Mikan is widely regarded as the game's first true superstar.
He was a difficult man to move, to budge once he got his spot. And to play behind him was death. I mean, you couldn't stop him.
Dominating as he was in his own era, some believe he could play the game today.
People would say, well, could he have played today? My opinion is yes, because Mikan would have adjusted. He was a great athlete.
As a member of 4 NBA championship teams, Mikan appreciates the success he enjoyed.
I'm not one to wear my religion on my hand, but I was always a believer that if you played honestly, fairly, and tough, you'd be rewarded. And I was.
And now that we have you on the edge of your seat, it's time for the top 10 plays of the week.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In our courtside countdown, we're off and running at number 10 with a household name, Gundar's Petra.
Good pass, and Gundar's maybe his first dunk of the season. I haven't seen Gundar's dunk the ball in practice.
Oh, check out these guys in Portland who are blazing a trail against the Mavericks.
Stolen away by Dave Johnson, gets to the head of Delaney and backed up to Dave on a jam dunk.
And at number 8, the Rockets cap off yet another victory.
Slams it home.
questions is what I have to ask. There's that period to the end of the sentence.
Oh, turn back the clocks. It's James Worthy in the open floor.
Is he playing with confidence? Well, look at this little stutter step. And he's making a statement here.
Yeah, he was, and he looked back at the bench to make another statement.
And number 6, Steve Smith scorches the 6.
Hanging in this game.
Oh, where did that come from?
Hey, Cedric, you should save this one for next year's slam dunk contest.
Greatest about it. 11 points for him. He put it on a little show, put the ball around his body.
Better watch out, Orlando. Here comes Zoe.
Alonzo. And Tolbert fouls him.
We move on to Sacramento, where the Flying Kings are all over the place.
He's back. Woo-hoo! What a big dunk that was.
But I was shaking and baking at number 2 as the Dream dazzles him with this dizzying display.
Wings inside, back around. I think John Williams may be a little dizzy.
If he's not, he's punch drunk.
And our number 1 play of the week goes to Doug Christie, who does it again.
Change of direction, throws it back over, he's had it in. He had it back to the basket. He did the same thing last night, going under the basket. Flips it up over his head, and it goes.
I'm Jim Fagan for NBA Action. See you again next week.